Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulil kareem. Dear students, I'm going to take an assessment for the syllabus that has been covered in the month of April. The chapter is number 1 and the time allocated is almost 60 minutes. You have to solve this assessment in almost 60 minutes. This assessment comprises of two sections, short questions and long questions on the pattern of Federal Board. You have to solve this assessment on loose sheets with the help of markers and blue or black thin tip marker. The first short question is determine the molecular mass of milk of magnesia. You have to know the formula of milk of magnesia, and then you have to determine the molecular mass of milk of magnesia with the help of periodic table. The second question is vinegar is 5% acetic acid. This contains 2 carbon atoms, 4 hydrogen atoms and 2 oxygen atoms. Write its empirical formula and molecular formula. The third one is determine the molecular mass of ammonium carbonate or urea, uh, ammonium nitrate, NH2CO and NH4NO3. You have to determine the molecular mass of both these compounds. The next question is differentiate between the following with the help of suitable examples: atom and ion, molecular ion and free radical. Now listen, you have to differentiate between these two along with the examples, like the examples, any minimum 2 examples of atom, minimum 2 examples of ion, minimum 2 examples of molecular ion, and same for free radical. Next one is identify the branch of chemistry that deals with the following examples. Sulfur dioxide is the major source of acid rains. You have to determine this line is related to which of the branch of chemistry. Similarly, silver article tarnishes in air. You have to determine, you have to find uh, within which branch we should study these two statements. Indigo, the formula of indigo dye is C16H10N2O2 is used to color blue jeans. It is derived from indoxyl C8H7ON. Calculate the molar masses of these two compounds and write their empirical formulas. Atomic masses are carbon 12, hydrogen 1, oxygen 16 and nitrogen 14. You have to determine the molar masses of these two compounds as well as the molecular formulas of these two compounds. Next section is long questions. You have to explain briefly the answer of these questions. This should consist of, the answer should consist of almost minimum 2 pages. You have to you have to write in the form of headings. You have to mention and you have to highlight the main points in the long questions. The first long question is define chemistry. Write down any 5 branches of chemistry. For each branch of chemistry, you have to write separate heading. Similarly, the second long question is discuss relative atomic mass and atomic mass unit in details with example. Explain Dalton's atomic theory and chemistry of garlic. You have to write both of these topics in detail, providing writing different headings. Okay, for this syllabus that has been covered in the month of May is comprises of chapter 2, and same time is allocated for this assessment, that is 60 minutes. You have to cover the second assessment of May within 60 minutes. This assessment also comprises of 2 subunits. One is short question and the other one is long question. In short question, you have write the same in the same manner as you usually attempt the short question from the very junior classes. The first short question is, what are the alpha particles? Also discuss how are alpha particles produced. We have discussed in detail the alpha particles in Rutherford's atomic theory. You have to write them all. Second one is, why is an atom electrically neutral? Third one is, why isotopes are chemically alike? Why they have same chemical properties? Fourth one is, define electronic configuration. You have to write just definition uh, with at least one example. Subshell and shell. Question number 5 is, how many subshells are there in an shell? The fourth one is, how many electrons can be placed in all of the subshell in n is equals to 3 shell? Uh, like, you have to calculate the number of shells in n shell, and similarly you have to add, or you have to calculate all the number of electrons that should be placed, that can be placed in third shell. N is equals to 3 means third shell, that is n shell. Next is long questions. Uh, the first one is, describe in detail Rutherford's atomic theory along with its conclusion and defects. You have also to draw its diagram, as it is a long question. You have to um, write this answer in the form of headings, in the form of proper paragraphs. The second one is, explain how Bohr removed the defects in Rutherford's atomic model. Third one is, explain isotopes of carbon, hydrogen, and uranium. You have to write all the properties, all the aspects of these three elements that I have discussed in the lectures. Okay, best of luck. Thank you so much. Do this assessment on rough sheet and then tell me, acknowledge me. Okay, Allah Hafiz.